Last Summer Productions presents Ebon Storms, an original fantasy audio drama.
In a world filled with magic, gods and men make war. The fabric of time is torn asunder, though the true tempest is not yet upon us. None shall weather these trials alone, and few survive them together, for there can be no balancing of the scales in the wake of Ebon Storms.
The fourth episode of Ebon Storms began with the rising sun on the morning of the group's departure for Shazgarath by way of Morven Reach. Along the way, Allandra was informed of the group's past, much to her disbelief. After an uneventful journey, the group entered Morven Reach only to fall prey to a spectral hag, and barely escaped with their lives. This confrontation, however, led to a startling realization. Trellin has the ability to call upon powerful magic through song. While in a trance, she used this ability to destroy the creature which threatened her and her companions. After this amazing feat, she emerged from the hypnotic state unaware of what had transpired, though her friends, reeling from the discovery, remembered quite vividly. Meanwhile, Selegna, the coldly efficient high priest of the Zenekarian Church, planned an ambush for the group at a decrepit castle at the edge of Morven Reach. Though the group is unaware of the ruthless mercenary ShadowRiders awaiting them, there they proceeded with one underlying axiom on their minds: be wary. And now, Episode 5, Broken and Tarnished.
The party waits several hours until Thangar and Father Nifigate recover from their frigid trances caused by the spectral hag. Continuing their trek towards Shazgarath, the group makes poor time.
How are you feeling, Thangar?
I'll live. How about you, Nifigate?
I can't believe I thought that horrible creature was a little girl.
I'm still confused about what happened.
Ask Trellin. She's the one who destroyed the hag. I still don't believe my ears.
What are you talking about? Who killed the hag?
Don't you remember? You sang it to death. Your voice carries great magical ability.
I remember nothing. You and Krannik were talking about spells. I felt so helpless, so useless. I can't remember.
Don't worry about it. Somehow you saved us all. Your memory will return in time, I'm sure of it.
Look! Over there in the bushes. A pack!
This is Farsha's pack.
Quick, give it to me. I might be able to get something from it.
Are you sure that's wise? Remember what happened in Bregner?
You can keep me from doing anything rash.
Count on it.
Elrad takes the pack, exploring the folds and feeling the rough leather material. Finally, his eyes closed and his posture slumps. The party watches as Elrad's face draws in weariness, and he speaks in a raspy voice.
So tired. I can't make it further. Losing blood. Charn won't make it. But can't fail. Must not fail. Keep. Must rest and keep. Must make it.
Elrad, wake up. Wake up. We've heard enough.
What? What did I say?
What was that about a keep? Is there one nearby?
Only one, an old abandoned castle on the hill overlooking Shazgarath, half a league northwest of here.
Then that's where we're going.
But Morven Reach Castle is haunted.
Led by an anxious Thangar, the group closes the short distance to the abandoned keep. The courtyard gate lies rusting on the rain-slicked, broken flagstone. The once well-tended hedges and greenery have long since gone wild, now little more than chaotic jumbles of dripping foliage. The brief lightning throws the keep into stark relief, seeming to leap suddenly from the gloomy darkness before disappearing once more. The adventurers dismount near the fallen gate. Elrad stops unexpectedly, cocking his head as if listening for something.
What is it now?
I sense presences in the courtyard ahead. Humans. Many of them.
What?
I don't see anybody.
Nor do I.
How many?
I cannot tell. Someone is blocking my mind's eye.
What's he talking about? We'll see what...
Wait, Thangar. I think we should listen to Elrad. I don't have his powers, but there's something not right about this place. Lady Allandra, do you feel anything strange?
Strange? What do you mean by...
Look down there in the mud.
Hoofprints. Probably Farsha's... No, wait a minute. I've seen this type of shoe mark before. ShadowRiders use it.
What did he say? I couldn't see his lips.
He says he recognizes the hoofprints as belonging to ShadowRider. Thangar, wait!
The rest of the group rushes to keep up with Thangar as he barrels into the courtyard, Maldrick blade unsheathed and ready. He stops very near the center, facing the ancient-looking double doors of the castle and the many faint mud tracks leading up to them. Tension crackles in the air, as tangible as the storm itself. Elrad becomes more and more agitated, glancing around nervously at every angle. Krannik and Allandra move to stand back to back, each unconsciously seeking support from the other. Trellin draws to her full height, focusing her serene violet eyes upon Father Nifigate, who now seems far from serene.
Thangar! Behind Trellin!
With quicksilver reflexes, Thangar whips around and sweeps Trellin to one side. He thrusts his sword blindly forward into the chilled night. A man's chest suddenly materializes around Thangar's sword, as the dying ShadowRider drops his own weapon and slides back off the bloody blade. ShadowRiders materialize suddenly on all sides of the courtyard. The adventurers quickly realize they are surrounded.
Damn! There must be a score of them. We must fight our way to a wall, quick as we can. Can't leave our backs open.
Try for that old fountain. I have something that might help. Here they come!
Thangar and Allandra step away from the tight knot of adventurers to face the first ShadowRider wave charging towards them. Thangar sweeps a wide arc with his Maldrick blade, and Allandra enchants her long-toothed dagger. Looking up, Trellin spies several archers standing up from hidden places on the courtyard wall, and starts to sing. The archers fire a volley of arrows into the midst of the group, but Trellin's song burns the missiles to ash in mid-flight. Thangar makes quick work of his immediate foes, parrying hasty thrusts and deftly slipping past guards. Allandra slashes viciously with her dagger, which takes on a bluish cast as her blade bites into her enemy. Elrad barely avoids getting skewered on a pike, but in so doing separates himself from the party, which is making slow progress towards an old stone fountain to the left of the castle entrance. As Elrad tries to fend off attackers from all sides, Nifigate, amidst the ever-widening circle of adventurers, prays frantically to his goddess.
Morning glory and Mistress Bright, show this foe thy blinding light!
You'll get it now. Oh!
A ShadowRider swings his axe to fell Elrad, but the blow falls short as radiant white light scorches past his eyes, blinding him. The party draws near the fountain, and Krannik climbs hastily onto its waist-high rim and begins a spell.
There's something wrong with this place, something that bleeds away my magic. I'm half exhausted after a simple incantation. A more powerful magic might... Oh no! Krannik! Stop!
Allandra's words are lost amidst the clamor of the battle, the storm, and Krannik's deep concentration. Trellin's arrow song wavers and trails off as she gasps for breath. Elrad, now over a half a dozen yards away, struggles to reach his friends. Thangar, with a quick feint to one side, dispatches another ShadowRider.
We're at the fountain. Krannik, another group comes. If you're gonna do something, you better...
Shorinak, Kairoth Meliar, Borizote Kairoth Zet.
With a flourish, Krannik sweeps his arms in the direction of the oncoming ShadowRiders. For the breadth of a heartbeat, nothing happens. Then emerald flames explode around the enemy, burning them like dry kindling. The other ShadowRiders in the courtyard scatter in fear. His spell cast, Krannik swoons in overwhelming exhaustion. Nifigate jumps to support him when an arrow embeds itself into Krannik's shoulder. Krannik mercifully loses consciousness, and Nifigate lowers him to the ground.
We must get help. Father! Father! You said Shazgrath was close by. You must run to get help before they regroup and attack.
But Krannik needs...
Go now! These archers will make pincushions out of us if we don't do something.
She's right. We're likely to send for reinforcements. Here comes another group of them. They aren't as eager as they were before, the bastards.
Thangar rushes away to meet the nearest of the Shadowriders, who are decidedly less sure of themselves. Trellin runs after him, thinking to defend his back.
Ikar Mora, Shele Shaza, Shaza Meger, sleep.
Allandra lowers her arms wearily as the archers fall where they stand, wrapped in magical slumber. Elrad scrambles frantically to find a weapon as a Shadowrider advances on what he assumes easy prey. Nifigate heads desperately for one of the courtyard's smaller side gates, wet robes whipping about his legs. He glances back once in the direction of the unconscious Krannik before disappearing beyond the gate, racing to find help in Shazgarath. The courtyard battle looks bleak for the adventurers. Elrad clumsily wields a hastily picked-up broadsword, making his way to the fallen Krannik. Allandra brandishes her magical dagger at an advancing Shadowrider. Trellin stands behind Thangar, who faces 3 Shadowriders with his giant Maldric blade. Elrad, still edging his way towards Krannik, gets stopped by an overconfident Shadowrider bearing a short sword.
You shouldn't use a weapon that's bigger than you are. Drop your sword and I'll give you a swift death.
I'm not dead yet. Aren't you tired? I think you are.
Get out of my head! What? My arm. Heavy.
Elrad plunges the broadsword deep into the Shadowrider's gut, leaving it there, and runs to where Krannik lay unconscious. The barbed shaft of an arrow protrudes from Krannik's left shoulder, and his forest green robes turn a darker shade around the wound. His breath comes slow and shallow. Elrad looks in the direction of Trellin and Thangar.
Trellin, come!
Without a word, Trellin breaks into a full run towards Krannik. At the same time, Allandra deftly thrusts under a Shadowrider's guard, knifing her last opponent. As the dagger bites deep, crackling blue electricity envelops the Shadowrider's body. Moments later, only a burnt husk remains.
Allandra, come!
Allandra turns in surprise at the trumpeting in her mind. Across the courtyard, Trellin, out of breath, arrives at the spot where Elrad crouches over Krannik.
Elrad, what is it? Thangar needs my help. We can help Krannik once the other Shadowriders have fallen.
Thangar can handle himself. How strong are you?
What?
How strong are you? Can you carry Krannik over to Thangar?
I can try. Why?
I have an idea. Get Krannik to Thangar, then go inside the mansion and find Farsha and Charn. Allandra and I can take care of the rest.
But what if...
No buts! One of the Shadowriders ran out, probably for help. You can bet he'll bring more riders than we can handle. We have to find the others and get out of here.
Elrad, what do you mean by invading my...
Good, you're here. Do Violet mages know any illusions? One's powerful enough to scare away these riders? Trellin, go!
Oh, bash daggett, come on, Krannik.
Of course I do, but as Krannik found, a powerful magic-draining field surrounds this place. The spell of languor I cast on the archers taxed me more than it should have.
Together, we can defeat the magic siphon. I'll use my psychic powers to enter your mind and make you believe you are filled with power.
You rave if you think I'll give you free rein in my mind.
Do you hear those horses? They aren't coming from Shazgarath. Nivigate hasn't been gone long enough. The riders are sending reinforcements, and Thangar's arm will tire eventually. We have to do something while the others get Farsha and Charn. You may not give a dragon's tooth about us, but I doubt that dagger will protect you from a score or more of riders.
Do you think me that callous? Proceed, but you try anything foolish and I'll have your head roasting on a spit. What do you want me to do?
Just concentrate. Good. The others made it to the keep. Now, pick your spell and concentrate on it. Shut out everything except my voice. Just close your eyes and relax. Imagine yourself preparing your spell. See your arms make the motions, your hands finding the right components. Hear the lips form the words. Forget about me. You have the energy. Feel it welling up inside you. I am but a shadow in your thoughts. We are one. I am the lightning and you the iron rod. Finish your spell. The power is there. Now fire!
Allandra outstretches her arms, pointing them at the rapidly approaching Shadowriders. All at once, panic sets in. ShadowRiders turn their horses and run. Some swing their swords wildly at the damp air. Others leap from their mounts, running away from imagined creatures of their blackest nightmares.
Run! She's conjured a demon!
We're doomed.
My head. Such power.
Allandra.
The grandest delusion.
Allandra.
What? Elrad, what happened?
Good question. What did you cast? Those riders nearly had seizures, they were so afraid.
I tried to summon an image of a fire demon. Actually, I don't remember it all. You're doing, I suppose.
I did only what I had to do. Let's go see how Krannik is. Oh no, quick!
Elrad! What is it?
I sense great fear from Thangar and Trellin. We have to help them.
Elrad and Allandra rush towards the mansion doors. They near the door, and Elrad reaches out to grasp the handhold, but Allandra stops him.
No, wait! Look! Some force binds the door. Do not touch it. Some sort of magical barrier prevents our entry. I know its type. These forbiddings are triggered by meeting preordained conditions. In other words, this is a trap. Had you touched that door, you'd have been burnt to a cinder. I've seen many magical seals, but this one's power exceeds them all. No guildsman cast this ward.
Then what are we to do? The others are trapped inside.
What can we do? I have no magic which can dispel a barrier of this magnitude.
We pray.
Nifigate races down the hill overlooking Shazgarath, his once white robes now splattered with blood and filth. Slipping and scrambling down the overgrown muddy path, he attempts to push himself harder.
If the others are to have a chance, I must bring help quickly. Illuma, give me strength. Oh, the stable. Where's Jack? Jack? Jack!
Father Nifigate, what is it?
Jack, get Micah, now.
What?
Get Micah, now.
Sheriff Micah. All right, Father, you stay here.
I can't breathe. I'll just sit a moment. Oh, that's better.
I got the sheriff like you said, Father. He's on his way.
Good.
Father, what's wrong? You look terrible.
Sheriff, you must round up a posse. Get some men up to the Reach. The keep, quick! I have to save them.
Hold on there, Father. Safe from what?
ShadowRiders.
ShadowRiders?
They're attacking my friends at the old keep. We have to help them before it's too late.
I didn't know any other people from Shazgarath went with you on your trip. Father, who are these friends?
What does any of that matter? We must hurry.
Father, Illuma knows I hate the ShadowRiders more than anyone, but we can't get involved. You heard what they did to Belks for interfering with their merchant raids. They burned that town to the ground. I'm sorry, but we can't.
Listen here, Micah. There are people in need of assistance on that hill. Illuma's children.
Sheriff Micah, is something amiss?
Oh, Lady Farsha, perhaps you can help here. Father Nifigate here.
Farsha? Did you say your name is Farsha?
Yes, Father. Have we?
I'm traveling with Thangar, and the others looking for you. We saw your footprints leading up to the keep, but we were ambushed by ShadowRiders before we could make it inside. I ran to get reinforcements. They're in terrible danger.
Thangar! Sheriff, I will need to borrow your horse. Get some men and ride up as soon as you can. I take full responsibility for the requisitioning of your townsmen. Father, stay here with this man. Sir, will you care for the father? He needs some hot cider.
Yes, surely, my lady.
Sheriff, I shall see you anon. Hiya! Giddy up!
Farsha ascends the muddy hill as fast as the sheriff's charger can take her. Her medium-length black hair barely touches the royal blue overcape attached to her burnished steel plate armor. She clings to the galloping horse. Trusting to her riding skills, she allows herself a moment to reflect. She remembers how she awakened before the others after battling Ralcazar and his malignant dragon beast. Everyone was in tolerable shape, except Charn. The wicked burn scar, the one given him by Ralcazar the day before his destruction, had swelled and become infected. He was aflame with sickness and fever. She feared he would die without immediate healing. She hated leaving the others, but had no choice. She remembers carrying Charn to Bregner, her tired muscles nearly failing from the strain. She recalls the kind people of Bregner and the small town's lack of healers. After a short meal, of which Charn ate very little, they set off for Shazgarath, Charn's one chance. On a horse provided by the friendly innkeeper, they made their way swiftly through the deep, until they passed into Morven Reach. At first, the Reach's fiends and apparitions avoided her, but they became bolder as the night grew long. The monsters soon caught up with her and forced a battle. She bested them, but lost the horse. So, with tired muscles, no sleep, and having lost blood from reopened wounds, she shouldered Charn and continued. Farsha vaguely remembers seeing the deserted keep, deciding to leave Charn there to find help more quickly in Shazgarath. She recalls walking up to the keep's entrance, her footsteps squishing in the mud. Without warning, a cold chill skittered up her spine. For reasons she did not understand, she turned around with Charn and headed away from the keep. Continuing her way towards Shazgarath, they arrived within an hour. Charn was taken to a healer, and she obtained a room for the night at a nearby inn. Reflecting upon her time in the past, she had thought their little group had changed history for the better, that the storms might soon come to an end. Perhaps she judged prematurely. Rounding the wall at the courtyard gate, she comes upon ShadowRider corpses strewn about. She recognizes her friend's work, that of a Maldrick steel blade and burning courage. She dismounts quickly and runs to the two figures huddled anxiously next to the castle doors.
Farsha!
The good sheriff follows with the posse. Elrad, where are Thangar and the others?
Inside. They went in thinking that you and Charn were inside, but the door sealed after they entered. We can't get past them. We think it's a trap. What are we to do?
My lady, your robes bespeak your power. Surely you can dispel this barrier.
Lady Paladin, these doors are sealed with an evil magic that defies understanding. I have not the power to pierce it.
Then perhaps my holy sword can overcome it. With Illuma's power.
Farsha draws her silver holy sword near the magic seal, causing it to flare a sickly green. She savagely thrusts the flawless blade's tip at the baneful portal. Her sword instantly comes ablaze with an intense silver aura, and the barrier shatters in a silvered green burst of luminescence. Wordlessly, the three burst into the keep. The sight before them horrifies. Thangar lies curled up and shuddering uncontrollably near the sagging spiral staircase, blood leaking from the corner of his mouth. His chain cuirass has been shredded, lying loosely about him in bloody scraps. Across the room, Trellin lies sprawled, unconscious, upon Krannik. Two hideous specters loom above them. The specters look up hungrily as the three approach.
Back, foul creature! With Illuma's wrath shall I drive you to the perdition from whence you came.
Silvery eyes glowing, the specters steal towards Farsha. Farsha stands her ground, her sword now glowing intense silver. She prepares for their paralyzing attack, shrugging off the waves of fear emanating from their glowing eyes. They dart at her. Farsha slashes a wide arc with her holy sword. Amidst the struggle, Elrad and Allandra manage to make it to Trellin and Krannik.
We have to help Farsha.
Trust me, Elrad. We can do nothing against these creatures. This is the Lady Paladin's domain. We can only get Krannik, Charn, and Thangar out of here. Farsha would want us to do that.
But...
No arguments, Elrad. Help me get them out of here.
Elrad and Allandra succeed in dragging Trellin and Krannik outside. Returning for Thangar, they see Farsha losing ground as she tries, with increasing effort, to fend off the apparitions.
You are innocent, child. Give up. Let the darkness
If you've harmed him... Elrad! Look out behind!
What? Allandra!
Farsha's warning comes too late, as a ghoulish minion slashes its sharp, filthy talons at Elrad and Allandra. Farsha lunges to help them, but can do nothing without turning her back to the specters. Slowly, the apparitions back Farsha into a corner. It becomes harder and harder to wield her weapon. Her desperation grows as another Arctic wave rushes through her fingers.
Elrad. God help. Help.
Working on sheer will, Thangar attacks the mindless ghoul from behind, his great sword cleaving apart its rotting body.
There. The cold.
Exhausted, Thangar falls to the ground, barely retaining awareness. Allandra and Elrad crawl shakily towards him, but all attention stays locked on Farsha and her losing battle with the specters.
Farsha. Have to help her. I can't.
Thangar.
Ignoring Elrad, Thangar tries to crawl forward. The battle, once a contest between a paladin and two revenants, has progressed into a conflicting siphon of energies. Neither Farsha nor the specters are visible. Only a twisting prism of forces indicates the continued struggle. Thangar crawls feebly towards Farsha. He approaches the swirling maelstrom as its colors darken. Amongst the colors he glimpses the face of his friend and companion, contorted into a mask of pain and despair.
Farsha! No! Farsha!
Thangar? What happened to...
They're gone.
Farsha!
But she defeated them. Where...
Elrad and Allandra manage to stumble across the magic-scorched floor to where Thangar sits.
Oh, Farsha.
They lower their heads when they see what he holds. Farsha's holy sword, broken and tarnished.
Horses coming outside. More ShadowRiders?
Farsha.
No, not riders. I think it's the posse.
They're too late.
Farsha's dead. She's gone.
Starring, in order of appearance, Michael A. Tomazic as the narrator, Chris Hutchins as Elrad, Bert Jean as Thangar, John Young as Father Nifigate, Erin A. Koch as Allandra the Blue, Christine Long as Trellin, Chris Biddle as Krannik the Green, Katie Cook as Farsha the Paladin, Darrell Goffinet as Gyrin, Shane Ernst as ShadowRider number 1, Chris Biddle as ShadowRider number 2, Edward Hauser as ShadowRider number 3, Jeffrey D. Todd as Jack the Horseman, Jason Reese as Sheriff Micah, and Erin A. Cook as the Spectres. Ebon Storms was written and directed by Shane Ernst and D.R. Goffinet. Original music composed and performed by Edward Hauser and Scott Spear. Chief Editor, Shane Fox. Technical Engineer, Scott Spear. Art and Publicity, Shane Fox. Last Summer Productions would like to thank the Western Kentucky University Department of Music and Purdue University. This is Shane Ernst. This has been a Last Summer production.